James Gunn confirms he will be directing even more DCU projects. James, you have one shot, and that's it. If Superman Legacy is a flop, if it's not an absolute box office massive success, and when I say an absolute box office success, I'm not saying, hey, Aquaman 3 just made $300 million. Yeah, it's still a flop. Because it cost a lot of money to make, the theaters took a massive cut as usual, and the marketing budget was insane. So it lost money, just like every single DCU project before that. So when I say Superman Legacy needs to be a hit, I'm talking in the realm of $1 billion. It has to be one of the top 3 highest grossing movies of the year. I don't believe in James Gunn. I don't think he's that great of a director. I don't think he's that great of a writer. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was a fantastic movie, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard, and it was just a fun movie to watch. And then they made Guardians 2, and that was an absolute train wreck. And I don't know why people are sucking off Guardians 3 that much. It wasn't that good. It really wasn't. It made you feel sad because you were watching animals die. But at no point was I thinking, wow, this is the greatest cinematic masterpiece I've ever seen. I thought High Evolutionary was a pretty good character. I thought the actor was fantastic in that. But overall, as a story, no, I hated it. Also, what did you guys do to Adam Warlock? Do you know who Adam Warlock is, James Gunn? Do you understand how powerful this man is? And for some odd reason, you made him into this childish moron that with nerfed powers? Just, you teased it in Guardians 2 as the thing that's going to kill the Guardians. No, it's not. Adam Warlock was nowhere near in any position to kill the Guardians in the third movie. And also, I bring this up a lot, though. They almost died in the second one to those gold people. And the only thing that saved them was that Ego popped up at the nick of time. So, if they would have had just, I don't know, a few more ships, they would probably kill them. It's not that difficult to kill mortals. So you made Adam Warlock and turn him into, again, the joking child. And people are like, oh yeah, because technically he is a child. It's like, who gives a shit? Stop making all the characters the funny ones. And that's why I wasn't a big fan of Peacemaker, because in that show, everyone is the funny one. But back to James Gunn, Superman Legacy. No, I don't believe that. Especially now that James Gunn's old tweets are coming out. That guy said some pretty fucked up things. I'd like to ask James just a few questions about these tweets. You typed this into your phone or your computer. You read it back to yourself. You press send. What did you think people were going to say? And now I'm reading another quote from him. This is per fandomwire.com. It says, James Gunn's first DCU project will be even more scandalous than Deadpool 3 after former Marvel director's latest updates. We don't need scandalous, James. Can't you just make something good? It just seems like this guy has to resort to, again, everyone being the funny one and pushing the envelope and going way too over the top with his tweets and things like that. You can have a normal Twitter account, James. You can have a movie where some people are kind of taking this seriously. You don't have to resort to these weird attention grabs in order to get people to like you. So that's why, again, I think Superman Legacy, it's probably not going to be that great. I want to believe it. You know, I actually was a kind of a big fan of Man of Steel, though. I think, of course, it went way over the top with the Battle of Metropolis. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to pretend like that wasn't a little bit too loud for no reason. But I did like Man of Steel in the end, though. Mostly because of Henry Cavill. But, yeah, I really didn't have that major problems with the movie. And also, Superman Legacy, it's way too big of a cast now. It almost seems like James Gunn's going to say, okay, I have the entire DC library of heroes and villains to work with. I'm just going to shove everything in there. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think James Gunn is kind of a hack in this regard, though, where he thinks that, okay, I have to go over the top. I have to go way too funny with everything. I have to go way too scandalous with my content in order to make people like this product. So now when you're seeing, okay, all these characters that are rumored to be in this movie, that's a lot of characters. You're not going to have 3 hours. This is an Avatar, man. You're going to probably get about 2.5 hours at most with this movie. And maybe one of the smartest things you could do with this movie in terms of runtime is maybe skip the origin story. Because they did that with Spider-Man. Like, we saw him in Civil War for the first time, and they really didn't explain how he became Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming, we really didn't see any flashbacks. It's okay, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and that's it. So maybe with this one, you might be able to save yourself some runtime by not doing an origin story. Maybe we don't have to see about Krypton exploding. Maybe we don't have to see Clark doing all these things as a child. Maybe you could just jump into it in present day, and that's it. Just go from there. But in the end, I don't believe in James Gunn. And I don't think a lot of other people do, though. His movies before Guardians of the Galaxy, they weren't that great. They were fun. I know we did Dawn of the Dead and the Belko Experiment and things like that. Yeah, they were okay. But at no point am I putting most of what he's ever done on my list of top movies of all time. I think it's going to fail hard. I don't think Superman Legacy is going to make as much money as they're hoping it's going to make. I think it might even be at the borderline of being a flop in the box office. So if it does that, though, and you can't make Superman work, how are you going to make your spin-offs go, James? How are you going to make me care about all these other characters that are not Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman? Because if you can't make Superman work, if you can't make your legacy characters work and be profitable to you, why the hell am I going to see the rest of the stuff you're doing? Why the hell am I going to see anything else you're doing? And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy proved that with the right cast and the right story, you could make C-level characters into fan favorites. It's not impossible. But seeing what he did with Guardians 2 and Guardians 3 makes me think that this guy just got lucky. So will the same thing happen with Superman Legacy? I don't know. What do you guys think about that one?